Michael Jordan had probably the best basketball career of all time. Even though he was picked third overall in the 1984 NBA Draft and didn't make his high school varsity basketball team at first. He won 6 NBA titles, 5 MVP awards, and he was in the NBA All-Star Game 14 times. Jordan was so popular during his time as king that people say he started the baggy shorts trend when he needed bigger shorts so he could keep wearing his University of North Carolina shorts under his Chicago Bulls gear at every game. Here are 10 things you didn't know about Michael Jordan. Number 10. There's a legend that a UNC geography professor told his students that the average starting salary for their major was $250,000. But then admitted that's only because of Michael Jordan. People now often tell this story to show that you can't always trust the mean average in numbers. In 1984-1985, Michael Jordan's first year with the Chicago Bulls, he made $550,000. Jordan's graduate class would have had to be small for this income to change the average so much. But this could just be a story. The Huffington Post tried to get in touch with the chair of the geography department at the University of North Carolina, but didn't hear back. Number 9. The Miami Heat also retired his number 23 jersey out of respect. The Miami Heat honored Michael Jordan's number 23 jersey first. The event took place on April 11, 2003, before an all-star game between the Washington Wizards and Miami Heat. No one will ever wear the number 23 for the Miami Heat. Pat Riley, the president for the Heat, told him, "Jordan, you are the best." When Jordan was still on the Chicago Bulls, Riley taught him many times. The Wizards were the winners of this game. Number 8. Michael Jordan's best friend is the limo driver who picked him up when he arrived for the first time in Chicago. In 1984, when Michael Jordan arrived at O'Hare Airport, the Chicago Bulls did not meet him. George Kohler, a car driver, felt sorry for them and offered to help. Even though Kohler was young, they got along. Kohler said, "I was excited because I knew who he was and thought, holy smokes, it's Larry Jordan. I remember Larry Jordan because I spent 4 years in high school with him. I saw Michael and said, Larry Jordan." Kohler became friends with Michael's brother Larry because they both went to the same school. Jordan only got $25 from Kohler to show him around town, so he could find a beer. After a few weeks, Jordan asked him to hang out. And now, 25 years later, I don't drive the limo for him, but we're still really close friends, Kohler said. Michael put me in touch with almost everyone. If Michael's name was on the cover of a book about his life, it would be about my life. I believe in fate. The customer that day might have changed my life. Michael likes to talk about how George was the first person he met in Chicago. He's driven me since. Number 7. Starting in November 1990, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls never lost 3 games in a row. Michael Jordan hadn't lost 3 straight games in over 8 years. Even though this math has been questioned, Ben Blatt of the Harvard Sports Analysis Collective figured out that the crazy odds of this happening were 0.2114%, or about 1 in 500. Blatt found out from a more current calculation that the number could be closer to 1 in 140, which is still a ridiculously low chance. During this time period, there were 626 games in the regular season and 126 games in the playoffs. Number 6. Growing up, Michael Jordan's nickname was Magic Jordan, named after Magic Johnson. Michael Jordan told Playboy in 1992 that Magic Johnson was an inspiration to him, even though he was having trouble with his job when he first got into the NBA. "I liked him when I was in high school. I used to go by the name Magic Jordan. My first car had a plate that said Magic Jordan. It was the Grand Prix of 1976. Some people were jealous of how I got into the league. Magic came with even more style and success. He should have been better than me in terms of support and business opportunities. But that's not how he was advertised. And it was a good thing that I was surrounded by great people. Because of this, there was a lot of envy. In my 3rd year, he asked me to play in his summer charity game. We worked out our problems in secret in the locker room, and we started going out as friends." Number 5. Michael Jordan's shirt was once stolen in Orlando, so he had to wear the number 12 and not put his last name on it. On Valentine's Day 1990, just over an hour before the game started, a thief stole Michael Jordan's shirt from the locker room. Since the Chicago Bulls couldn't find the shirt and didn't know what to do, they had Michael Jordan try on a replica jersey from a fan, but it was too small. The equipment manager quickly made a backup shirt with the number 12 on it, which was kept in case of an emergency. That would have to do. "Nothing like that has ever happened to me before," Jordan told the Orlando Sentinel. "It's a little annoying because you get used to certain things and don't like it when they go missing." Even though Orlando scored 49 points, they won this game in overtime. Number 4. Michael Jordan donated his first-year salary with the Washington Wizards to the recovery effort and victims' families of 9/11. Michael Jordan was paid $1 million for his first year with the Washington Wizards after coming out of retirement. He gave all of that money away. The terrible events of 9/11 happened just a few days before the NBA season started. So Jordan chose to help with the cleanup. "It's my way of giving back, and I hope it will help people in need during a hard time," he said. During that season, Jordan had the most points, assists, and steals for the Washington Wizards. Number 3. The inspiration for Michael Jordan sticking out his tongue came from watching his father do the same thing while he worked. When Michael Jordan's dad did chores around the house, he would stick his tongue out. His father went on to say that it went back even further in the family tree, saying, "As far as I can remember, it came from my granddad. My grandfather stuck his tongue out, and I do the same thing when I'm working on my car or doing something around the house to focus." In 1989, the Chicago Tribune did a detailed report on Jordan's tongue wagging. They found that the move fit the description of the concentration tongue by anthropologist Desmond Morris. Morris says this about the group: "The movement showed up gradually, not as pure concentration action, but as a 'please leave me alone' sign. Once it became clear that the action was a sign of social rejection, it became part of the infantile breast rejection movement." One idea is that. Number 2. Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and Bo Jackson all played a character in a short-lived animated show. In the early 1990s, Pro Stars ran for 2 seasons. 3 sports stars lived in a gym and saved the world from bad guys. Michael Jordan was the group's head and smartest member. He often gave long scientific explanations for the group's plans. Along with the cartoon, Jordan and the other players would take part in real-life Q&As. But none of them really sounded like their characters. Some of the shows can still be watched on YouTube. Number 1. The flu game might be because Michael Jordan's pizza was poisoned. Even though he almost passed out in Scottie Pippen's arms during the famous flu game in Game 5 of the 1997 NBA Finals between the Chicago Bulls and the Utah Jazz, Michael Jordan scored 38 points and led the Bulls to win. The game was definitely one of Jordan's best, but he may not have gotten sick because of the flu. Everyone called it the flu game, but we were in a room in Park City, Utah in a hotel. Tim Grover, who used to be Michael Jordan's personal trainer, said the night before. Room service stopped around 9 o'clock. He got hungry and we couldn't find anywhere else to eat, so we ordered. I told him, "Hey, the only place I could find was a pizza shop." "All right, order pizza," he said. Since we'd been there for a while, everyone knows what hotel we stayed at. No one was surprised about where we were going to stay. So we order a pizza and they bring it to us. 5 people brought this pie to us and I said, "I'm not sure how I feel about this." He was the only person in the room who was eating. Nobody else. Then at 2 in the morning, someone calls me to my room. When I walk into the room, he's curled up like a baby. I said right away, it's food poisoning. Guaranteed, I don't have the flu. Thanks for watching this video.